White vinegar, cornstarch, $1. And your windshield will repel rain better than RainX has ever managed in its entire 40-year history. Not for 2 weeks. Not until the first car wash strips it off properly, with a bond that RainX's silicone formula was never designed to create. And here is what RainX figured out decades ago, and what they have spent 40 years hoping you would never test for yourself. Their product does not protect your windshield. It coats it. There is a difference. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand that difference in a way that makes that $12 bottle impossible to justify ever again. Stay with me. Because what comes next changes how you see every rainstorm you have ever driven through. If this channel has ever saved you money, hit subscribe right now. Every video we make, they wish we wouldn't. Here's what nobody tells you when you stand in the auto parts aisle staring at that blue bottle. RainX has one job. One, make rain bead off your windshield so you can see clearly at highway speed. That is the entire product. That is the entire promise. And for $12, that promise lasts approximately 2 weeks before you're back in the same aisle buying another bottle. 2 weeks, every time. And RainX knows this because the chemistry they chose, the chemistry they have never changed in 40 years, makes 2 weeks inevitable. I'm going to show you exactly why. And then I'm going to show you what they should have told you instead. First, you need to understand what your windshield actually is, because most people think glass is just glass. It is not. And the difference between what most people think is happening when they apply RainX and what is actually happening, that difference is why the bottle is empty again before the month is out. Modern automotive windshield glass is not smooth at a microscopic level. It has pores, microscopic surface irregularities created during the manufacturing process and deepened over time by road debris, temperature cycling, and wiper blade abrasion. Those pores are the key to everything. A water repellent that fills those pores, that bonds into the surface texture of the glass, creates a hydrophobic barrier that water cannot penetrate. Rain beads, rolls off, stays off. A water repellent that sits on top of those pores, that coats the surface without bonding into it, works until the first wiper blade pass strips it away. Pay attention to what comes next, because this is the part RainX has never once put on their label. RainX is silicone, polydimethyl siloxane, the same silicone compound used in surface coatings, mold releases, and lubricants. It is a surface coating agent. It does not bond into glass pores. It sits on the surface, creates a hydrophobic layer, and makes rain bead for approximately 2 weeks. Then your wipers strip it. Rain washes it. Road grime dissolves it. And you buy another bottle. That is not a side effect of the RainX formula. That is the RainX formula. A product designed to work just long enough for you to notice it, and fail just fast enough for you to need another one. 40 years, same chemistry, same cycle, and they built a global business on it. But here's where the story gets interesting. Because the chemistry that actually bonds into glass, the compound that fills those microscopic pores and creates a hydrophobic barrier that wipers cannot strip, has been sitting in your kitchen this entire time, and it costs $1. Stay with me. White vinegar. Acetic acid solution. When applied to glass, vinegar does something silicone cannot do. It reacts with the mineral deposits and oxidation sitting inside those microscopic glass pores. It dissolves them. It cleans the pore surface at a chemical level, not just the visible surface, but inside the irregularities where contamination has been building since the windshield was installed. And a clean pore accepts a bonding agent in a way a contaminated pore never can. This is the step RainX skips entirely. They apply silicone over a contaminated glass surface and wonder why it does not last. The contamination is still there. The silicone sits on top of it, and the first wiper pass takes both of them with it. But vinegar alone is not enough. And this is the part no competitor video tells you. Because clean pores need something to fill them, something that bonds into the surface rather than sitting on top of it, something hydrophobic that road, rain, and wiper blades cannot simply strip away. And the second ingredient is so ordinary it should genuinely offend you. Cornstarch. $1 for enough to treat your windshield 50 times. Here is what cornstarch actually does to glass at a molecular level. Cornstarch particles are microscopic. When mixed with vinegar and applied to a cleaned glass surface, the starch particles are carried into the open pores by the acetic acid. And as the vinegar evaporates, the starch bonds to the glass surface inside the pore structure, not on top of the glass, inside it. The result is a hydrophobic surface treatment that wipers do not strip, because it is part of the surface, not a layer sitting above it. Rain hits the glass and beads immediately, not because something is coating the outside of the windshield, because the windshield itself has become hydrophobic. That is not what RainX does. That is what RainX was supposed to do. The chemistry does not charge a shop rate. It just works. Before you apply anything, 3 mistakes that will destroy the result before it starts. Mistake 1, applying to a dirty windshield This is the mistake that makes people think the formula does not work. Road film, silicone residue from previous RainX applications, and wiper fluid buildup are all sitting on your glass right now. If you apply the vinegar and cornstarch mix over contamination, the starch bonds to the contamination, not the glass. The first wiper pass removes everything. Clean the windshield completely before you start. Dish soap in hot water. Rinse completely. Dry with a clean microfiber. This step takes 5 minutes and determines everything. Mistake 2, using too much cornstarch in the mix. More is not better here. Excess starch on the glass surface creates a haze, a white film that scatters light and reduces visibility at night. The ratio matters. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch per cup of white vinegar. Not 2 tablespoons, not a handful. 1 tablespoon. That ratio gives you the right particle concentration to fill the pores without leaving surface residue. Mistake 3. Not buffing completely dry. The vinegar needs to evaporate fully before the cornstarch bonds set. Apply the mix, let it sit for 2 minutes, then buff completely dry with a clean microfiber. Circular motions, every part of the treated surface. If you leave any wet residue, the bond is incomplete. The treatment lasts days instead of months. 2 minutes, buff completely, no exceptions. This is the step that determines everything. You need white vinegar, cornstarch, a spray bottle, and 2 clean microfiber cloths. That is the complete list. $1 total. Step 1. Clean the windshield, dish soap and warm water, full windshield every corner, wiper resting areas included. Rinse completely. Dry with your first microfiber. No streaks, no residue. Bare glass, ready to accept the treatment. Step 2. Mix 1 tablespoon of cornstarch into 1 cup of white vinegar in your spray bottle. Shake well. The mixture will look slightly cloudy. That is correct. That is the starch particle suspended in the acetic acid, your delivery system. Step 3. Spray the mix directly onto the dry windshield. Full coverage, every section of glass you want treated. Let it sit for 2 minutes. Do not touch it. The vinegar is working into the pores. The starch is being carried in behind it. Let the chemistry work. Step 4. Buff completely dry with your second clean microfiber. Circular motions, full coverage. Keep buffing until the glass looks completely clear. No haze, no streaks. This is the step most people rush. Do not rush it. The bond sets as the vinegar evaporates. The more completely you buff, the stronger the bond. What you have just done is something RainX has never done in 40 years of selling you silicone. You have cleaned the microscopic pores of your windshield and filled them with a hydrophobic bonding agent. The surface treatment is not sitting on your glass, it is part of your glass. Rain will hit that windshield and bead immediately, not because of a coating that will wash off, but because the surface itself repels water. That result will last through weeks of rain, car washes, and wiper cycles before any reapplication is needed. Compare that to RainX, stripped by the 3rd wiper pass after the first heavy rain. Now, I want to tell you something about RainX that their marketing has never once acknowledged. Silicone water repellents have been tested against bonding-based hydrophobic treatments in automotive glass research going back to the 1980s. The results have never been published in a consumer format. They have been published in glass manufacturing and automotive engineering literature that nobody outside the industry reads. Bonding treatments consistently outperform silicone coatings in longevity, wiper resistance, and rain repellency under highway conditions. Not slightly, significantly. RainX read those studies and kept selling you silicone, because silicone that fails in 2 weeks sells 12 times a year, and a treatment that lasts 3 months sells 4 times a year. The math is simple. The decision was never about your visibility, it was about their revenue. Your windshield repels rain the moment water hits it, or it does not. There's no middle ground at highway speed and heavy rain. And for 40 years, RainX has been selling you a product that works just well enough to get you back to the store, not well enough to keep you safe. White vinegar, cornstarch, $1. That is not a home remedy. That is the chemistry RainX chose not to use, because the chemistry that actually works does not need to be replaced every 2 weeks. And a product you never need to replace again is a product they can never sell you again. The chemistry does not invoice by the rainstorm. It never did.